When news broke of Ozzy Osbourne's death, it sent a seismic wave of sorrow across the globe. Known as the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy was more than a rock legend. He was a cultural phenomenon. For decades, he mesmerized audiences with his gritty vocals, theatrical performances, and rebellious spirit. But to his daughter, Kelly Osbourne, he was simply Dad. Her tribute to him was not only emotionally raw but unexpectedly revealing, peeling back the curtain on a private life lived behind the noise and fame. This was not just a public statement. It was an open wound, a father beyond the fame. Ozzy Osbourne was a titan of music, famous for fronting Black Sabbath and later establishing an iconic solo career that would span generations. He redefined rock with his unique blend of haunting melodies, dark lyrics, and unapologetic showmanship. Yet behind the eyeliner and pyrotechnics, he was a man of depth and tenderness. Kelly's tribute captured the essence of this duality. To the world, he was a spectacle. But to Kelly, he was a safe harbor, a man whose chaotic persona belied an unwavering devotion to his family. "I lost the best friend I ever had," she wrote on Instagram, alongside a black and white photo of her holding his hand during his final days. This image, raw, unfiltered, and achingly real, spoke louder than words. Growing up, Kelly Osbourne grew up in the eye of a cultural hurricane. As part of the reality TV show The Osbournes, she was introduced to fame during her formative years. The world saw her adolescence unfold in front of cameras. Awkward moments, family fights, personal struggles, all broadcast for public consumption. Through it all, Ozzy was her constant, the rock in a whirlwind of chaos. In a 2019 interview, Kelly recalled, "Even when he was falling apart, he was the strongest man in the room to me." This bond wasn't born of conventionality. It was forged in the fire of shared adversity. When tabloids and critics tore Kelly apart for her appearance or outspoken views, Ozzy was always in her corner. Friends remember him quietly assuring her, "You're stronger than you think, and I've got your back, always." The silent farewell. Ozzy's decline wasn't sudden. Diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2003, his health worsened steadily in the years that followed. Multiple surgeries, a traumatic fall in 2019, and persistent complications forced him into retirement from touring. While fans speculated and media churned out headlines, Kelly retreated from the public eye. Her silence, now understood, was the sound of a daughter preparing for the unthinkable. Behind the scenes, she became his emotional caregiver, visiting him daily, holding his hand through episodes of pain, and shielding him from media scrutiny. She reportedly canceled career engagements, stepped back from interviews, and turned inward. At the time, fans assumed it was another celebrity hiatus. Now we know it was an act of quiet devotion. Final conversations and sacred moments. Kelly's tribute revealed that in those final weeks, she and her father shared late-night conversations that would etch themselves into her heart forever. They spoke about her son, about music, and about their shared fear, losing one another. One moment stands out. The last voice message Ozzy recorded for her, just a week before his death. Though unreleased, it is said to be a daily balm for Kelly's grief. On the night before his passing, Kelly sat beside her father, whispering through tears, "You don't have to fight anymore. I'll carry your name now." It was a private farewell, a sacred exchange of roles, the moment a daughter became the keeper of her father's legacy. An Instagram post that shook the internet. When Kelly finally spoke publicly, the world stopped. Her post wasn't a generic statement filtered through PR buffers. It was honest, painful, and profoundly moving. "He wasn't just my dad. He was my lifeline. I don't know how to be in this world without him. I just know I'll try to make him proud." Within hours, tributes flooded in from around the globe. Fans, celebrities, and musicians, from Elton John to Post Malone, offered condolences. But something about Kelly's words resonated more deeply than most. They weren't performative. They were deeply human. Mental health advocates and grief counselors even began sharing her post, praising it as an example of healthy, unfiltered emotional expression. In a digital world obsessed with perfection and control, Kelly's vulnerability was a revelation. She gave permission to mourn. She made it okay to cry. The birthday footage that moved millions. Just when the world thought it had seen the most intimate side of Kelly's grief, something unexpected emerged. A leaked video from Ozzy's final birthday celebration began circulating online. Originally intended to remain private, shared only in a family WhatsApp thread, it was leaked by someone close to the family who felt the world needed to witness Ozzy's final moments of joy. The clip, only 42 seconds long, captured Ozzy in a wheelchair, surrounded by Sharon, Jack, and Kelly. A small chocolate cake sat on the table. The setting was humble, but the emotions were monumental. Ozzy, voice faint and shaky, began to sing Happy Birthday to himself. Kelly, tears streaming, sang along, holding his hand. Then came the moment that melted hearts worldwide. "You're my miracle, you know that," Ozzy said. "You're my whole world, Dad," Kelly replied. Fans noticed the stark contrast in Ozzy's appearance, frail, almost ghost-like, but also saw a man enveloped in love. The video quickly went viral, shared under hashtags like Ozzy Forever and Kelly's Tribute. Media outlets like CNN, BBC, and Rolling Stone ran segments on it. But it was Kelly's follow-up post that delivered the final emotional blow. That video was never meant to be seen. It was ours. But maybe the world needed to see who he really was. That man in the chair. That was my dad. My hero. My heart. The letter that changed everything. A few days later, the Osbourne family uncovered something that would again stir a wave of emotion. A private letter from Ozzy, hidden within a leather-bound journal kept beside his bed. The journal was filled with scribbles, lyrics, thoughts, and ramblings. Some barely legible, some heartbreakingly clear. Inside was a folded page labeled with a single word: Kelly. The letter, written in Ozzy's trembling handwriting, was both a farewell and a revelation. Though not shared in full, a source close to the family revealed its essence. "You've always been my voice of reason. Even when I was chaos, you gave me a reason to be better. You saw me at my worst and still loved me like I was worth saving. If I have any legacy, it's you, Kelly." When she read it, Kelly reportedly collapsed into tears, clutching the journal to her chest. She later posted a brief excerpt. "He told me I saved him. But the truth is, he saved me every single day." The letter included one final wish: that Kelly release a private ballad Ozzy wrote for her when she was 15. Not for commercial release, not for public fanfare, just for her. A final gift. A lullaby from a father to a daughter, meant to echo in her heart for the rest of her life. Beyond the music, the real legacy. With this tribute, Kelly Osbourne has given the world something far more valuable than a headline or a viral moment. She's revealed the man behind the myth. In doing so, she's helped reshape how we remember Ozzy Osbourne. Not just as the wild, bat-biting rocker, but as a father, a protector, and a deeply loving soul. Her public grieving has sparked a cultural shift within the rock community, a space not always known for emotional openness. Fans have begun sharing their own stories, not of concerts and mosh pits, but of how Ozzy's music helped them through heartbreak, depression, and identity struggles. Through Kelly, we're reminded that behind every icon is a human being, and behind every human being, a family. A final tribute, carrying the torch. At the memorial held in Ozzy's honor, Kelly stood before the crowd with a quiet strength that silenced the room. Her voice didn't waver as she spoke about the man behind the legend. Her father. She shared moments of vulnerability, humor, and heartbreak, painting a portrait far more intimate than any headline or concert ever could. She ended her eulogy with words that echoed through every heart present. "If you only knew Ozzy through his music, you missed the best part of him. He was fierce, fragile, broken, and brilliant. And I got to call him Dad." That final line hung in the air, heavy with love and loss. In that moment, Kelly became more than a grieving daughter. She became the keeper of his story. Ozzy's legacy, so often defined by platinum records, sold-out tours, and the wild icon he was to the world, took on a deeper meaning through her words. She reminded everyone that his greatest impact wasn't just in the music he made, but in the quiet moments few ever saw. The late-night talks, the fierce loyalty, the fragile confessions, and the unbreakable bond of a father and daughter. Kelly's tribute didn't just honor Ozzy's life, it reframed it. Behind the chaos and spectacle was a man who was deeply human, shaped by pain and passion in equal measure. And in telling that truth, Kelly ensured that the world would remember not only the rock star but the man she knew best. Through her, Ozzy's legacy continues, not just in riffs and records, but in memory, in love, and in the spaces where family, music, and loss collide. What Ozzy meant to us all. Ozzy Osbourne has long been seen as a larger-than-life figure, the Prince of Darkness, the rebellious rock god who redefined heavy metal. But behind the myth was always a man, a father, a husband, a soul shaped by love, pain, and profound vulnerability. This story, told with raw honesty and deep affection, reminds us that fame doesn't shield anyone from grief or the complexity of human emotion. Through Kelly Osbourne's tribute, we glimpse a different Ozzy, not just the stage legend with a thunderous voice and wild persona, but a deeply human figure with fears, flaws, and immense love for his family. Her words reveal the quiet strength it takes to stand by someone in their most fragile moments, and the courage it takes to share that truth with the world. This isn't just about rock history, it's about legacy in its truest form. The legacy of connection, of love passed down, of memories that outlive the spotlight. Kelly's tribute transcends celebrity and touches the universal experience of losing someone we love. It calls on us to remember Ozzy not just for the music that shook the world, but for the quiet, powerful moments that defined him as a man. What did Ozzy mean to you? How has this tribute shifted your view of him, not only as an icon, but as a father, a human being, a soul? Let's celebrate him not only in song, but in story. Share your memories, your thoughts, and your love. Help us honor the man behind the myth and support the Osbourne family in this season of grief, healing, and remembrance. Like, comment, and share this tribute. Because real legends live on not just in records, but in hearts.